talked a little bit about the role that hotels, dive shops, tour operators, about what the businesses can do. Now we need to talk a little bit about what the tourists themselves can do, because they're the customers. So as a customer, the first thing you can do when you come here is ask, if you're taking a tour, ask your tour company how much do they donate or invest in social or environmental issues from the money they're making. How do they contribute to the maintenance of the habitat or the species? And that's a really good question to ask, because they'll answer that if you're a customer more than if you're anything else. Other things you can do is try to understand the species before you go. Remember, wildlife is wild. We mention this all the time, but no matter what people tell you, turtles are not going to want to eat bananas. So that sort of thing it's to observe the wildlife, but without intervening in its life, and sort of learn a little bit about where you're going, what kind of wildlife is there. When we say become more aware, that's what we mean. Learn a little bit more about what you're doing, where you're going. Like, people come here to the Mayan ruins, and part of the question here is the Mayan culture, to talk a little bit about social issues. So understand a little bit the culture. It's really different. It has a rich tradition, and it's a really ancient culture. And so to understand that a little more helps you become a more conscientious tourist when you're here. So just really find out a little bit more about where you're going, where you're becoming an actor in that space. Something else that you can do, and we've seen that a lot here in Akumal because we have a lot of regular customers, people who've been coming to Akumal for 20 years, and they have really become allies in this whole struggle for better management. You can actually start sharing your information with other tourists. When you see bad behavior from other tourists, like grabbing the turtles or something, you can say something. Of course, in a nice way, not get into a fist fight with them, but you can say something. You can share your knowledge of the species, of the turtles, of the coral. You know, when you know that people are walking on the coral, you can share your knowledge that coral is not a rock, it's live organisms. So once you start sharing your information, then we spread the word out and you become an ally in this whole conservation question.